Kanipe was moi, I would have ended somebody's life. I would have dissected somebody. I would have turned somebody's insides into outsides because what the actual Hi bestie, welcome to the very first episode of a brand new series on this channel called Natural Hair Salon Horror Stories. In the last video that I posted, I basically ranted about the horrible condition that the natural hair salon industry in Nigeria is currently in, and I got so many responses even from outside Nigeria, all from women with natural hair who are saying the same thing. The industry is very biased towards us, and I mentioned that even if it is abroad, if it's in the US, in the UK, that you can't find a natural hair salon, that is still kind of understandable. But as Nigerians in Nigeria, as Africans in Africa, we still can't find people who can handle our natural hair with good care. We can't find good and proper hair care in our own house, in our own continent. That is a problem. And because of the many comments that I got, this idea was born where I would share real stories from real women across Africa and even outside Africa about just the terrible experiences that they've had in salons, just to drive home the point that there is an actual problem and nobody's talking about it. So with that, I have two stories to share with you today. And if you have your own horror story that you would like to send in to, join in the series and share, you can send it to me as an email to olamidefred@icloud.com. All that info is in the description. It's very easy. All you have to do is send me an email. And yes, you will be kept anonymous unless stated otherwise. So without further ado, let's get into some of these stories. Trust me, I've pre-read. Why have I got a lot to say? Let's get into it. Well, this happened a very long time ago. I was still in secondary school, but I remember the incident like it was yesterday. So I had come home for holiday and I went to the salon a day before I was leaving for school. I sat down at the salon for more than 2 hours waiting. Now, they assured me that they would attend to me, so I waited. Lo and behold, I started hearing some murmuring and I just minded my business. But it started getting obvious that they were talking about my hair. And I heard one say, "Oh, it's natural hair. I can't make natural hair." Oh, to cut the long story short, one of the girls finally came to meet me and said, "Sorry, we don't make natural hair here, except I relax the hair." I would have shot out. Girl, the violence that would have ensued. Kanipe it was moi, I would have ended somebody's life. I would have dissected somebody. I would have turned somebody's insides into outsides because what the actual girl. I think the worst part is they really made her wait for hours before they told her that, "Oh, by the way, we can do your hair." Like, if it's bad enough that they say they cannot do natural hair, but then they now made her wait. And mind you, this is one day before she has to go back to school. This is somebody who just wanted her hair freshly done, nice, crisp, so she can go to school and look very nice. And the day before she has to leave, you, first of all, wasted her time. And then you had the F1 tree deliver the girl the balls to come and say you don't do natural hair. In Nigeria, this is a Nigerian, because I'm seeing her name is Yoruba. So this is a Nigerian. They're telling me a Nigerian in Nigeria is going to a salon and they're saying I don't do natural hair. I don't understand. Do you guys realize that we are born with natural hair? Like, in our natural state as Nigerians, our hair is naturally, curly, coily, kinky. We are born this way. So is it colonialism? Is it self-hate? Where is this coming from? That, oh, if your hair is not straightened to death by a relaxer, I can't do your hair. What? Truthfully, I feel really sorry for this babe, and I know she said it was a long time ago, but like, it is so irkful that this ever happened, and I am too sure that it still happened. Recently, I went to a salon, and as soon as I brought out my hair from my bonnet, because I went in a bonnet, as soon as I brought out my hair from the bonnet, they were like, one day, when I try it today. Now, these people, they didn't turn me away. I still got my hair done. But like, what is that reaction? What is this hatred for natural hair, for God's sake? Like, it's not how we were all born. We were born with natural hair. You that decided to go and relax your hair, for whatever reason you decided to relax your hair, that's fine and good. I'm not judging you. Do you. But don't now make me feel bad or suffer consequences for my choice to stay natural. It doesn't make sense. Wouldn't you believe I'm not even done with the story? So she says, "Boy, was I shocked. Not only was it a wild statement, because it really was, but the fact that I wasted my time waiting. I got home and cried that night. It's I don't even know. I don't even know what else to say. I don't know which other comments that I have to make. And I think I mentioned this in the video that sparked this whole series, this whole idea in the first place, that it really doesn't make sense that in salons within Nigeria, if it's that you went to a US salon and they turned you away, we can say that it's racism, but it's not really your house. So we can even bend neck, turn sideways and try and understand. But in Nigeria, in Africa, you're telling me that I will still go to a salon and face the same prejudice that will make somebody to be crying the night before they have to go back to school with their hair undone? Come on now. Come on. We need to do better. Jeez. Okay, so this next story was sent in by one of my friends, Christiana. She literally wrote it here that if you don't mention my name, I will bite your neck. So Christiana, I've mentioned your name. So here's my salon horror story. This particular wonderful bright day. By the way, let me just go ahead and warn you beforehand. Christiana is the most dramatic person I know in this life. And I'm very, very sure that this story, this write-up is going to portray that. So bear with all the FEZ. Bear with us, bear with her. Alright, so she says, this particular wonderful bright day, I carry my 2 legs go salon innocently. Here are some of the things I noticed that were bright red flags that I decided to ignore. Number 1, she used those blue small toothed combs to detangle natural hair. You see these combs, they are weapons fashioned against natural hair. And for some reason, the hairstylists in Nigeria, they love this particular weapon. They love this weapon like the Americans love their Glocks. I don't understand. I don't know what it is. But see, let me tell you something. If you go to a salon and they're trying to detangle your hair and they whip out this demon, run and evacuate the premises. Number 2, she detangled hair dry. I don't know how many times I have to say this. Like, I say this all the time, even when I'm doing my own hair. Do not deal with your hair if it is dry. And anybody that claims to be a hairstylist should know this. Anybody that is working in a salon should know this. If by now, in 2025, there are still salons out there that are detangling people's hair when it is still dry, shut it down. Number 3, she had a sprinkle of rudeness, as they all do. You see, there are some of these hairstylists, they are the ones that do the most rubbish, but they are the most justified in their doings. Like, you can't tell them they are doing something wrong. They will fight you. On top of your own hair that you are paying to do, they will be arguing with you and they will fight you, okay? When I started my hair, the first thing I felt was a hard pull on my head. The ogo parts. Of my head. It was so painful. I literally heard my hair snap. I came with my spray bottle, so I gave her my spray bottle and leave-in conditioner to apply to my strands before combing. But this woman refused though. What did I tell you? This is Oluwao. You see these people, this particular salon people that you can't tell them they're doing something wrong. Flip. She said, is water hair food? I want craze. So essentially, she gave the stylist water and leave-in conditioner to apply to her hair so that her hair can be softer, her hair can be moisturized, and it will be easier to detangle. Now, so salonists say that no, that is water what your hair is going to eat. Please, we don't do that here. Okay. She kept talking like she knew what she was doing, like the witch sent to me from my village. I was so upset, but shy me didn't talk. I always say this with the way salons are right now in Nigeria. If you have to go to a salon, please carry your mouth and go, because if you don't say anything, then you will see anything and they will do you anyhow. And I always make this analogy that it depends on just how much you care about your hair, because if you have built a house and somebody is playing with bulldozer in the next compound, you will come outside and you will shout. Because if you keep quiet and they mistakenly bulldoze half of your house, what will you now do? You can't keep quiet. So in the same sense, if you are going to a salon and they are detangling your hair with this weapon fashioned against, well, basically everybody, you have to open your mouth and say, please go and drop that. That's not what you are going to use to comb my hair today. Some of you have been growing your hair for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and you will just allow all your hard work to go down the drain in one day for one hairstyle because you did not talk. Please don't do that. Then she started educating me. She said, don't you know when you add water to your hair, it will scratch you and it will smell? Girl, the fact that that is coming out of a hairstylist's mouth, that's how you will know that you're supposed to stand up, dust your slippers and flee. Dust your slippers and run. Because anybody that still thinks that spraying water in your hair is going to make it smell, is supposed to be a bad thing, then that person doesn't know what they're talking about. Water is literally natural hair's best friend. I very rarely pre-pull my hair before like wash day, because all I need to do is literally stand under the shower for like 5 minutes minutes, let my hair really soak up the water, and then figure the tangle, and I'm good to go. That is how wonderful water is, at least to my own hair, in my own personal experience. So for somebody to still come and be telling you in 2025 that spraying water in your hair will make it smell, trash it now. The next day, that was when the nemesis of what I had done started. My head started itching me so bad. My hair was tight, so I had scalp bumps. It was so painful that my head was tilted forward. You know that stuff when you've done fresh hair. Back then in secondary school, everybody will know that you've done fresh hair when your neck is like this. Yeah, I couldn't look down or side. I just had my head stiffened because it was so painful. So you see, at the end of the day, even without the water, the hair was still wet, it was still itchy, and on top of that, it was too tight, it was painful. You had that stiff neck, you can't look left, you can't look right, you can't look up or down, you can't laugh, you can't smile, you can't even be sad. If you cry, it will tear your forehead. That kind of tightness. You see, there are some red flags that you're supposed to just know. In fact, if you enter a salon and you see that blue comb, just stand up and be going. Once that blue comb is present, it doesn't even matter what they want to use it to do. If they have that blue comb, just flee. Any salon that does not have that rattle comb that has metal yash, that posh one, if they don't have that comb, please stand up and flee. Arise, levitate, and evacuate. At the end of the day, I took down the hair because it almost made me look like a mad person. That was the last time I went to a salon to make my hair. Luckily for me, I can make my hair myself. So until I find a stylist that can make my hair like me, salon will continue to look like a torture zone to me. Thank you for coming to my pep talk. Best regards, Christiana. I told you guys that she was going to be dramatic and she did not disappoint. So now we have somebody who is traumatized and can't go to a hair salon. It is terrible because not everybody, luckily for her and for me and for a few other naturalistas that I know, we can do our hair by ourselves. But not every woman has that time. Not every woman even has the time to learn. It took me over a decade. I've been doing my own hair for over a decade now. So of course I can sit down, I can do almost any hairstyle for myself now. But like, not many women have that time to dedicate, especially now in the fast-paced world that we live in. Even if they have the skill to sit down for 5 hours, 6 hours doing your own hair, and you are literally using your hands to do your own hair, so you can't do anything else. At least if you are in a salon and they are doing your hair, you can be pressing your phone, you can be on your laptop, you can be working while you are getting your hair done. But if you are going to do that hair by yourself, you can't do anything. You literally have to either be listening to a podcast, watching a movie, watching a series. It is leisure time, and not everybody has that time. And the salons that are now supposed to make our lives easier are busy traumatizing us one by one. That's just incredibly problematic as far as I'm concerned. And it is such a problem, but unfortunately, nobody is seeing it as a problem. My advice is still, if you can, learn how to do your hair yourself. It is a flex, it is the best thing. You save money and you even squeeze in a little self-care time, because when I'm doing my hair, that's when I really sit down, I balance. If I need to off cloth, I off cloth. I put on a movie or a series that I've been wanting to watch since. That's my opportunity to calm down, relax, get my hair done. And then when I go outside and people are like, oh my god, your hair is nice, I'll be like, yeah, I did it myself. That thing gives me such a dopamine hit. So that is my own form of self-care. So if you have the time, it would be nice if you could just learn how to do your hair yourself. But if you do not have the time, no problem. You just need to, take a few extra steps. First of all, find a good stylist or a good salon. It is not going to be easy, but if you find your salon, you found your salon. Do you get what I mean? And always carry your mouth to the salon, because on your quest to finding the perfect salon, you will definitely encounter some bad ones. And in those bad ones, to at least make the most of it, you need to speak up so that they don't rip your hair out completely. Do you get what I mean? So just like shine your eye, stand up for yourself. If you cannot do your hair by yourself, find a good salon or a good stylist that that will listen, that will beckor, that will hear words. You get, a lot of people don't start out as great hairstylists, but because of the kind of clients that they've worked with and all the different tips and tricks that they've picked up working from client to client, they eventually get better. So any hairstylist that you are telling don't do that, don't do this, and they're arguing with you, please evaporate, excuse yourself from the situation. All right, I thoroughly enjoyed filming this video. Like, I enjoyed it completely. These two stories, they just drive home the points that I made in that my salon rant video. I'm going to link it in the end cards, by the way, so that you can watch it. It's also going to be in the description. You can go and watch it, so you will see how everything that I said in that video was was just driven home by these stories. And again, please, if you have your own salon horror stories that you don't mind sharing, please send them to me in an email. The email is olamidefred@icloud.com. It is also linked in the description. All you need to do is just type out the story in an email, and that's it. Just press send, and I will keep you anonymous unless you're like Christiana and you tell me that if I don't mention your name, you bite me, right? But I try to keep everyone anonymous, because I mean, it's the story that matters. The story matters. The story needs to be told. This problem needs to be amplified, and maybe, who knows, somebody who is in the position to do something might hear these stories and decide to take action. I really don't know where to go from here, but this is just my part in amplifying these stories, and hopefully they are being heard by the right ears, and hopefully someday soon something can be done about the abysmal state of the salon industry in Nigeria. So yeah, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know if you'd like a part 2, a part 3, a continuation. And once again, the series will end very quickly if I don't get stories. So if you have your horror story, please send it to me. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching till the end of this video, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.